currently planning to enter into the market of Dunedin, New Zealand. Can you tell us a little bit about the background of your company?
Alright, sure. So basically, Kairos Kebab Company is a fast food chain that serves Mediterranean meals including kebab wraps, chicken tandoori, beverages and other side dishes.
Chiu Si Kong is one of the founding members of Kairos Kebab. Kairos International Berhad, formerly known as Getmore Group Sdn Bhd, operated under the trade name Kairos Kebab. Inspired by the name of Mediterranean delicacy called kebab, they realized at the time the delicacy was available only at limited places. They took the opportunity to create something big out of it and spread the joy of the meal to Malaysians. As they rose to prominence, customers flocked in from everywhere. In 2003, they merged with CAB Cekaran Group, which is a group principally engaged in 4 business divisions, namely: first, Integrated Poultry, Farming and Processing Division; second, Marketing and Food Processing Division; third, Restaurants and Franchising Division; and fourth, Marine Products Manufacturing Division. Kairos Kebab headquarters is located in Jalan Singambut Lentang in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. In 2005, Kairos went through a rebranding of their logos to inject creativity and revive the brand to make it to international standards. This includes the changing of their logo to a more modern concept and also the change in their restaurant concept to a mix of Mediterranean and Western dining ambience. Their first ever outlet was opened on April 23 in 1997 in Kuala Lumpur. Presently, there are 10 Kairos Kebab outlets throughout Selangor and Kuala Lumpur. Kairos Kebab is driven with the slogan of tastier and healthier wholesome meal, which derive from the high quality, healthy, nutritional compositions and unique taste of its food. Its menu range from main meals such as black pepper sauce spaghetti to side orders such as garden salad and sausage salads. Of course, who can forget their very own specialty, which is the kebab itself. The kebab is priced at a range of 11, which is the original wrap, to 12 ringgit and 50 cents at most, which are the kebab meat with fries or rice and spaghettis. There are many benefits when it comes to consuming Kairos Kebab. First and foremost, it is a halal product with a certificate from Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, JAKIM. So, Muslims can enjoy the kebab without any concern. It can also be eaten by health-concerned individuals because it has a greater variety of healthy meal options to choose from. Their kebab meats can also be enjoyed for people of all ages, as they are roasted over specially made stainless steel rotating infrared vertical burner that allows excess oil to drip off. This makes their kebab meat beautifully roasted, soft yet lean and low in fat and cholesterol. Not to mention, the price is also affordable. Lastly, it can also be consumed by vegetarians as they provide menus such as veggie wraps. The current target market for Kairos Kebab in Malaysia will be for families and office workers who want convenience and delicious meal simultaneously, as most of the restaurants are located in populated regions such as the shopping malls. Their other target market will be Southeast Asian countries as they have franchises located in Brunei, Singapore and Indonesia. Foreign countries such as the Middle East, US and Europe may be the upcoming target of Kairos to explore the international market. However, we also need to know about the ingredients of the Kairos Kebab. In this video, we are focusing mainly on the original wrap. The ingredients used for this comes in either a Lebanese or tortilla bread. It is stuffed with fresh, crisp vegetables such as cucumbers and tomatoes, and succulent meat of customer's choice, which is chicken, lamb, beef or mix, and finally topped with Kairos special sauce. Extra filling for kebab such as pineapple, mushroom, kidney beans, cheese, and extra meat can also be included upon order by the customers. In the next part of this video, we will discuss more about New Zealand.
About the ideology in New Zealand, can you explain more?
The polity of New Zealand functions within a framework of a unitary parliamentary representative democracy. New Zealand is a constitutional monarchy in which a hereditary monarch. Since 6 February 1952, Queen Elizabeth II is the sovereign and head of state. Executive power in New Zealand is based on the principle that the Queen reigns but the government rules. Although an integral part of the process of government, the Queen and her Governor-General remain politically neutral and are not involved in the everyday aspects of governing. Ministers are selected from among the democratically elected members of the New Zealand Parliament. Most ministers are members of Cabinet, which is the main decision-making body of the government. The Prime Minister is the most senior minister, chair of the Cabinet, and thus head of government. Holding office on commission from the Governor-General, the office of Prime Minister is, in practice, the most powerful political office in New Zealand. The government is accountable to Parliament for its action and policies. The country has a multi-party system, in which many of its legislative practice derive from the unwritten conventions of and precedents set by the United Kingdom Westminster Parliament. However, New Zealand has evolved variations. Minority governments are common and typically dependent on confidence and supply agreements with other parties. The two dominant political parties in New Zealand have historically been the Labour Party and the National Party.
How about the food culture in New Zealand?
The food culture of New Zealand. New Zealand cuisine is largely driven by local ingredients and seasonal variations. An island nation with a primarily agricultural economy, New Zealand yields produce from land and sea. Similar to the cuisine of Australia, the cuisine of New Zealand is a diverse British-based cuisine with Mediterranean and Pacific Rim influences as the country becomes more cosmopolitan. Historical influences came from Maori culture, New American cuisine, Southeast Asian, East Asian, and South Asian culinary traditions have become popular since the 1970s. In the 19th century, British settlers in New Zealand tried as much as possible to reproduce the foods of their homeland. In the early stages of colonization, this was difficult as many ingredients were unavailable. Pakeha settlers ate native birds and fish. A major difference between British and Pakeha food was that meat was much more readily available to all social classes in New Zealand, whereas in 19th century Britain, labourers ate meat in very small quantities. In New Zealand, they could have it for every meal. Since meat was a high-status food in Britain, British settlers in New Zealand ate vast quantities of it. Many immigrants have brought their different cuisines to New Zealand and often open ethnic restaurants and takeaway eateries, giving New Zealanders a chance to try more authentic additions of Japanese, Thai, Malay, regional Chinese, Indian, and other Asian cuisines. Over time, these ethnic cuisines have been gradually accepted by Pakeha and Maori New Zealanders. Consequently, most New Zealand cities have a wide variety of ethnic restaurants, and foods such as kebabs are served virtually everywhere. The food trends in New Zealand, such as the Mediterranean cookery, did not become mainstream in New Zealand until the dawn of 1990s. Vegetarianism had been regarded as an alternative lifestyle for many years, but became more mainstream during the 1980s, even though consistent vegetarians are still rare. Despite encouragements by the Ministry of Health and their allies for people to eat less meat and more cereals, fruits, and vegetables, a highly meat-based diet remains a part of New Zealand culture. Most New Zealanders eat their main meal, known as dinner or sometimes tea, in the evening. Most families living in one household try to eat dinner together several times a week. The formality and structure of these meals varies from family to family. Most families eat takeaways, such as fast foods, fish and chips, or Chinese food about once or twice a week. In the summer, the barbecue is common, generally as a social event. Guests will usually be invited to bring beer or wine, and on occasion meat which the host will cook. Similar Maori gatherings will often feature a hangi. When the indigenous Maori arrived in New Zealand from tropical Polynesia, they had a number of food plants. Like other Polynesian people, Maori cook food in earth ovens, known in New Zealand as hanji, a pit in which meats or fish are cooked with vegetables. The pats are further covered with foliage and cloth, and then earth. Other cooking methods included roasting, and in geothermal areas, boiling or steaming using natural hot springs and pools. A deep hole is dug in the ground and lined with red hot stones and covered with vegetation. The food is then placed on top and the whole oven is sprinkled with water and sealed with more vegetation. The whole is filled with earth and left to steam for several hours. New Zealand culture celebrate togetherness with their family and friends. Most of the time, they would have a proper dine-in at restaurants once or twice a week. Foods like meat, lamb, or muttons are usually their main meal.